Uganda's retail industry is being revolutionized by one young man who shares his insights on leadership and innovation.
Present with us on the program is a young tech entrepreneur, a retailer, and a leader from Uganda. Julius, you're very welcome to the program.
Yes, thank you very much. Humbled and privileged to join you.
One of the major advances in the African continent today has been the ICT revolution. You know, for a long time, the perception has been, and in most cases, the reality has been that, you know, African countries have been behind in terms of facilities, infrastructure, etc. And we've seen information and communication technology in some ways bridge the gap. As a young leader in this field, can you talk a little bit about what you have seen in terms of the impact of ICT on the youths and also on the communities across Uganda?
With that, I think let me use myself as an example. I'm going to tell you a story about my startup. Majority of the middle-income people, but those are mostly our target customers, do face this problem of too much traffic jam, lack of where to park when they go for wherever they are going to shop, and sometimes they don't even know where they are going to find specific products that they need. So it hits me, what if I offer it as a service to people, in return they pay me? And that born Your Home, a company that I run. It's basically an e-commerce platform that belongs to the IT sector. So Your Home, basically what we do is we integrate big chain stores onto one platform and give a customer choice to shop from their loyal store or from their favorite store. And then what we do is deliver what they've ordered for. Now, the beauty about it, we sell to them these products with no markup on. It's the exact shelf price. And we'll charge them a handling and delivery fee. And when these people make their orders, and then we deliver to them, like I've mentioned to you, we do charge them handling and delivery fee. Now, that's what's able to pay us as the young people who are working in Your Home. We earn a decent living. That enables us to cater for our bills. And then, because I told you it's twofold now, the other part, it's helping someone who's out there frustrated with their work, with whatever they are doing. They're unable to get particular products. Now, this service gives them what they need. It covers all that, takes away that frustration. So people like us who are selling convenience, at the end of the day, are simplifying the lifestyles of the people. So I think that's what ICT, that's the way it's helping to help the people, not only in my community, but across the continent.
You know, I had the opportunity to attend a panel discussion, and you were taking part in that particular discussion. And there was a point you made which I hope that you can now elaborate on, because I found it very interesting. You were talking about WhatsApp, and you mentioned that WhatsApp, being an American invention, if you will, was being driven from a place. It has a source, and it's driven from that place. But then innovations across the African continent, we might be patronizing other innovations from abroad, but are we patronizing locally? Can you talk a little bit about that idea?
For us, the young innovators or the innovators across the entire continent, we are lacking support. The support needs to come from you and me. If I do have an innovation, or if you have an innovation, or if you have a business, anything that you're doing, I need to be the first person to support you. Now, the reason why I used WhatsApp as an example was because across the continent, we have very many messaging applications. But the reason why they've not been, you would ask your question, why are they not being embraced? Because they lack support. I picked an example of M-Pesa in Kenya. M-Pesa has become so successful because of the support it has got from the Kenyan people and mostly from the policymakers. Now that's the Kenyan government. At the time that people now think M-Pesa, it's an innovation of Safaricom. So if you do have any innovation, you need support from your own people to embrace it, to understand you and support you across board, regardless of the challenges that you meet along the way. Because it's okay and good to fail, but we have to learn from our failures. So if you do not support me to prove my concept, if I'm to use my startup as an example, Your Home, the more the people have used the platform, the more it has helped us to make it better.
Certainly, as a citizen of Uganda, you are not ignorant of the challenges facing the common man there. Can you speak a little bit about what you've seen in Uganda in terms of the leadership challenges and what you believe young Ugandans can bring to the table in terms of reversing whatever negative trends have manifested over time in Uganda?
There is this popular question amongst Ugandans and people who are interested in Uganda, for example, that what are you young people doing to change the leadership in your country? But there is an underlying question that's always unanswered and not really sieved. It's how prepared are you as a young person to be the next leader? So as long as we answer that question, then we shall be able to have the right leaders. Because most young people, most of those that I've interacted with, are good at criticizing our leaders, cutting across board. But oftentimes, they're not even willing to get into the ring, to pull up their sleeves and getting the work done. What am I trying to mean by this? They are good at talking about these issues, and they are very smart, by the way. They would really articulate all these issues, but they're not offering themselves to be the leaders. So to me, I think that's my concern.
Let me for a moment play the role of contrarian, because some people would suggest that, at least in some parts of the continent, that there are people who are ambitious, not just ambitious, but people who are willing, people who are equipped and ready, but then find themselves oppressed, find themselves limited by institutional and cultural and socio-political structures that don't enable them to break into the positions of authority that will enable them to effect the change they seek to bring. What are your thoughts about that, and what would you say to the young person who encounters such?
Still in the fellowship, on the final day, the presidential summit, that's when the president is coming in. I'm seated in the room, and as privileged enough, by the way, I was on the third row, on the platform where President Obama was going to address us. President Obama walks into the room, everyone stands up, they keep on cheering him, and I did not stand up. I was just overwhelmed. They started singing a happy birthday to him. I did not sing. I was so blown away because I couldn't imagine myself sitting just a few steps away from the strongest man, most powerful man, it's not the strongest man, most powerful man in the world. I'm in the same room with him, and he's going to address me for the next 1.5 hours. That moment right there proved to me there is no ceiling to my ambitions. I can be anything that I put my mind and efforts to. There is no excuse for a young man to feel underprivileged. By you allowing that in your mindset, that you're underprivileged to these opportunities, you've already limited yourself. Look at Obama's story, where he comes from, how he goes out of the US to live with his mom and stepdad. Then he comes back, He focuses on his education. He wants to transform his communities in Chicago. You know, it shows you he had no limit to himself. He could achieve anything. And in our times, by the way, we are living in great times, he becomes the first black president of the United States of America. And myself, from Uganda, Kampala, I go and I'm able to meet him at no cost on my own. That's what proved to me that all these limitations are self-created.
The East African Regional Conference was one of synergy and impact. While factors such as geography, circumstance, and focus areas vary between young leaders, what evidently unites them together is a collective desire to create a better Africa than the one they met. My name is Ajuri Ngelale. Until next time, lead where you are, and followers will find you.